welcome. My name is Kirsten Rozanzoff, and I will be guiding you through the tools of BetterEducate. So I thought I'd just show you my face before you have to listen to my voice for the next 45 minutes. I apologize for the coughing and sniffles and whatever else might be on there. Lots of ums. There is going to be a question and answer session that I know you'll be coming to as well, a live session. But if you have any other questions as you continue to use the tool in the coming months, please don't hesitate to reach out. So you'll be learning how you can do that through BetterEducate. All you need to do is send me a chat message, and if I don't know the answer, I'll find someone who does. So hopefully this video will give you lots of information about how to use the tool, how I use the tool, and get you started on your administration journey. Our BetterEducate overview. This is a video that hopefully will give you lots of things, lots of ideas about how you might use the site as you enter into your journey of administration, and hopefully you'll also come back here as you explore, and maybe there are some things you'll try right away and some things you'll forget about, and then when you remember them later you can come back to the video and have a look. So what we're going to do in this video is we are going to get you signed up, get you logged in, and then we're going to explore these 4 areas. It's really nice in the site that everything's divided into these 4 main areas. So we'll go over all the different features under your profile, in the network area, in the resources, and then in the plans. We're not going to go too deeply into the plans because we're going to look at growth planning in our next video. And then there are also some videos around about school plans if you're interested in looking at that tool as well. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to bettereducate.com/bcpvpa. And once you get here, we're going to click on register now, unless you already have an account, in which case you will click on login. When you get here, this is a screen that often stresses people out. They don't know what to click. But if you look right here under single educator, it says, or free with a promo code. And since we have a promo code, that's what we'll be using. So even though the BCPVPA is an organization, you're still signing up your account here. So we're going to go start connecting. And then you will put the promo code in here, BCPVPA123, apply, and you'll see you get this Better Educator green light to go. So you're going to come up with your username. I don't know if it's going to let me because I already used this. Nope, not available. There we go. And then come up with whatever your password is going to be. Repeat it. You'll need to put in an email address, and mine fills out all my stuff automatically, and then choose your school district. I don't know if this is actually going to let me because I already have an account here. And then you'll decide on whether or not you want to receive emails from the BCPVPA when you follow resources. And of course, you will open the terms of use and have a good read through of all of the rules. We'll see if this is going to let me. Oh, it doesn't like my password. There you go. Okay, let's see if it'll let me now. So then, once you get in to your new account, the first thing it's going to ask you to do is set some tags about yourself. So what are you interested in? So this is things that you want to be connected to on BetterEducate. So what are your interests? If you're a new administrator, you're probably going to choose administration. Maybe you are particularly interested in curriculum. Maybe that's an area that you're looking to grow, or you like to keep on top of things curriculum-wise. Maybe you're still doing some teaching, so you want to choose that. Maybe you're really interested in growth mindset. So these are the things that you are interested in, and you can just have a read down the list of what all of these things are. And choose, maybe you want to choose wellness. That's a really important topic right now. There are lots of really important topics that you can choose. And the little number underneath shows you how many resources or things have already been tagged with this in the site. So that's telling you that there are maybe a lot of things that you will want to look at. Okay, and then the next one is your experience tags. So here you're going to choose what are the things that you have experience in that you consider yourself maybe not an expert, but that you know a lot about, because this is how other people might find you. If their interest is growth mindset and your experience is growth mindset, the site can connect the two of you to each other. You also can skip this step if you want to. So you can think about what your experience is. Maybe you are a vice principal and you have some experience in that. Maybe you've done some work around school culture. I'm just going to click on those ones, and then we will move on to the next stage. So then we can click done. So that takes us, then it's going to pop up and tell us a few little handy things about it. Okay, showing us where our dashboard is. The dashboard is up on the side, and then it's also right here in the middle, which we'll have a look at in a minute. There's your search bar, and that's where you look at your profile. This is great. I didn't actually know that it did this because my account is very old, my actual account. That's where we're going to edit resources. Here's sharing a quick link. There's our bundles, anything that we're following, and there's where we can chat, and there's our member area. Okay, we'll go over all of that way faster, into way more detail than I just did. Okay, so these 4 boxes are your main stuff. Okay, this is where everything kind of is for you. If you are accessing the website, there isn't an app, because if you're accessing the website on your phone, it's designed to just show up with these 4 main things. So it's pretty sleek on your device as well. So the first thing we'll have a look at is what's in the profile area. So when you click on your profile, you've got your biography. So this is where you're going to set up who you are and what you're about. So we're going to go to our biography, and it already puts in all my profile information. And then I can add my education and experience. You know what? I'm actually just going to switch accounts here. Sorry, because it'll make more sense to show you some things that are already filled out here. So we're just going to go back to this. Okay, so now we are still in that same area. So this is under, if we go back to our dashboard, and I did that just by clicking over here, we're going profile, and we're going to biography. So this is my active account. This is the one I use, not the one I just created to show you how to make one. So under your education experience, you're going to put in, where you've been, what you've been doing, what's your experience, how long have you been there, any notes you want to add, what's your current. You can add a bio. Oh, evidently I don't have one, so you might want to add a bio. You can add a photo. I will change mine. This is Sean Lockhart created this account for me about 400 years ago. So that's me 400 years ago. You might want to include a video if you want to in your profile, if there's something that you've got created that feels like it's an example of who you are. And then your experience tags. So these are the tags I actually chose when I set up my account. And you can come in here and change these anytime. So if you want to add your, back to school, batteries, I'm very curious about what those 3 resources are. You can come back to your profile and make those changes anytime. And there are tons and tons of tags, as you can see. So that's your experience tags. So then when you actually look at your profile, which we're going to do up here by clicking up here, I'll show you where those, so you can see how the experience tags show up like this. So when someone's looking at my profile, if you were to come and find my profile and you are interested in, say, leadership standards, you can click right on there and you'll see that. Here's where my education experience goes. My bio, of course, would show up here if I had bothered to write anything in it, which I will promptly go and do. So then also under your profile is where you have this self-assessment tool. This is just for you. So this is not going anywhere unless you share it with everyone. This is private. So once you do work in here, it's not like it gets published to everyone and suddenly everyone knows your faults. And this is all based on the leadership standards, which is very cool. So it's very connected to the leadership standards. You can do an initial self-assessment or a full one. The difference between these two is just how many things you're going to be assessing. So we're going to do our example growth plan 2019-2020. We're going to start fresh. If you had done one before, you can start from where you were last time and kind of just notate any movement, any changes that have happened in your self-assessment. Excuse me, sorry. So under here you see these are the 4 domains of the leadership standards, and then you're going to be assessing yourself on each of the standards. Okay, within each standard, you're not assessing yourself on more than on like every action statement separately. You're just using what are the action statements in this area. So we're going to start with standard 1, leading a community of caring and learning. Have a look at what this principle is about. Look at the reflective questions and think about where you are in that journey. The scale looks like this. So 1 is perspective, okay? 2 is emergent, 3 is effective, and 4 is accomplished. I'm going to call myself emergent for the sake of this video. So then you can see up here, this is the level that I'm at. So again, that's where if last year I had a plan, I could have started this assessment from last year's, and maybe then I would just be clicking to show some growth if there was some growth. Again, we're going to go decision making. I'm going to choose 2. Okay, and that's my assessment. And you can see I've completed 2 of 2 in this section of the assessment. And then I can go through and do my assessment under the instructional leadership area and so on. Okay. If I switch to the full assessment, you'll see that now under ethical leadership, it says 2 of 10 because there are actually 10 areas that I'm going to be assessing. So this is more based on this all the specific action statements, not just on the first 1 or 2. Okay. So it just goes into a bit more detail, and that gives you some idea around what kind of growth you want, what areas of leadership are your strengths, and what are the areas that maybe you need to spend some time doing some work in. Okay, and then it shows your self-assessment average of how much is completed. So I've got 3 things done out of 62, so I got a ways to go. Or if I look at the initial self-assessment, going back to that kind of shorter, quicker one, then I've got 3 of 12 done. Okay, so that's where your self-assessment is. And then you can create your new growth plan from this area, and we're going to be exploring the growth plan in a separate video later. But again, this growth plan is your professional growth plan directly linked to this assessment, directly linked to the leadership standards, which is a very cool, and there are tons of resources on BetterEducate that can help with that as well. So those are the 2 things that were in that profile area. Let's just go back to our overview here. Who are you in the educational world? Experience tags, self-assessment, and then creating your professional portfolio or growth plan, which we're going to cover in the other video. So now let's go to the network area. So under network, we've got 4 different ways that we can connect with other people through BetterEducate, which is so great when you're just starting out and you might be looking for some people to mentor you, to connect with, to help you on your journey. So the first area, learners and leaders, this is looking for leaders with specific skills. So when we click on it initially, it just takes us to all educators, which we can also find over here in the left if we click on educators. So that's just where we are. So right now, we are looking at all 3,195 educators. Okay, I don't know why Sean Lockhart gets to be number 1, but there he is. He's been a principal since the year 0 up until 2019. That's pretty interesting. So you can see the experience tags are all in here. So maybe you go, okay, I'm really interested in professional growth. And then when I click on that professional growth, it's now going to take me to all educators who are tagged with professional growth. So then I find all the educators who've chosen that tag, and these might be people that I want to connect with if that's what I'm interested in. Okay, I can follow. I'm currently following Sean Lockhart. That's why it's blue, but I can't believe I don't follow Kevin Reimer. Better do it. So I can follow, I can like the educator, I can add this person to my favorites, and right from here, I can send a message as well if I want to chat with them right from here. Okay, so right now I'm searching for tagged with professional growth. I can search for any other tag in here. Maybe I'm looking for some educators who are talking about relationships, building relationships. And oh, look, my name comes up. That's exciting. Okay, and so then I'm going to have a look at maybe connecting with some of these folks and following them or looking at their resources, which I could do by, if I click on the actual educator, then it brings us to this page, which tells us about them, but also shows us all of their resources. So if you come in here, you can find all the different resources that they've published to share. And my resources are actually organized by a bunch of the different leadership standards. So if you're looking for that, that's one thing you can check out there too. But you can look at all the different resources that a certain educator has shared. So again, that was going to network and then learners and leaders. And that took us to this page, which is the same as this bar down here, which shows us all the different educators that we can connect with. We can send them messages, we can like them, we can favorite them, and we can search based on the tags, different tags, okay? And we could search for a name as well if we were interested in doing that. Okay, back in our networking area, we also have these rooms for engagement called BackBEats, which are also called classrooms now in the teacher version of BetterEducate. So I have a whole bunch of BackBEats that I've created for my class. That's what all of these are. A BackBEat is just an area where anyone who has the link to it can add a comment or a question or upload a resource. So the ones at the top are mine. These are all the BackBEats that I've created. The ones at the bottom are BackBEats that I've been a part of. So things that I've written on, things that I've looked at, links I've seen. And if we go way back here to the very first BackBEat I was a part of in January of 2019, it was a World Cafe that we were having. And we had these, oh, it's expired, so I can't show it to you. That's too bad. I will choose one that hasn't expired. So basically, let me just pick one that's not going to have photos in it. This one doesn't have photos. So anyone with the link is able to do this. This is for my students, but you could just as easily make yours about some sort of question for educators that you wanted them to answer or a space to share. So people can comment in here. Jacob's worried that I might not be able to see his work. He's just telling me, don't worry, I did it, and he doesn't know how to use capital letters. And then these guys have all uploaded files. So I asked them to do an interview with their partner, and they uploaded their work there. So it could be a sharing space if you're asking staff to show you something. Send in an example of a student's writing, because maybe that you're looking at writing in your growth plan or something like that, and that's using BackBEats. So to create a BackBEat, you just use this button right here. You give it some kind of title with no spaces. And you can put in your description. This shows at the top, so tell everybody what it is you want them to do. Maybe you're just going to use it as a check-in. And so maybe it's called check-in. Oops, it won't let you use spaces. It'll tell you if it's available. If it's not available, just change the name, add a 1 or a 2. Tell us how you are feeling today. And maybe you're just going to use this at the start of a staff meeting, right? Your BackBEat. Decide how long you want it to be available for. Like that World Cafe one obviously is expired, so you can't look at it anymore. So maybe you only need it up for today's staff meeting, so you leave it up for a week. If you want to be able to look at it again, you might want to make it longer. And then when you click on this More Options, you can decide who can post resources. So everyone can post in the chat, and then you can decide if anyone's able to post a resource. Now, if we're just asking people how they feel, we don't need them to upload anything, so we're going to say no. But if we were asking them to submit work, then we can have everyone be able to upload, and then you can decide who gets to see them. Do you want everyone to look at all of the work, or is it just for you? Okay, and then you can choose on the theme. And then we choose our, so we didn't need resources. So then we choose Start BackBEat. Here's our check-in, and then you just copy this link, and that's what you're going to send out to people. And they can just come on in here, and they can post their comments, and you'll see a bunch of comments start to be created there, which is really handy if you're looking for a way for a group of people to contribute, especially during a meeting or during a presentation. It's a nice way for people to be able to put in their thoughts without interrupting the flow of whoever's presenting. So that was BackBEats. So again, you can access that by coming to your dashboard and choosing Network, BackBEats. You can also access that in your area, okay? And it's down here called BackBEats, just like this. Now, as I said, teachers see this as a space called classrooms, but it has the exact same icon. So that's how you get there. So then also under networking, there's the opportunity for collaboration. So the collaboration you can access here, or you can access it right here, Collaborate. And this is like a chat room. It's a forum. So you're going to post a question. I'm just going to just going to change this, sorry, to be all collaborations for BCP-VPA so you can actually see some. There we go. So I can create a new topic if I want and ask a question. So here are some forums that have already been created by going new topic, and then what's your question, put some details in. You can add tags if you want to, and then you can post as yourself, as BCP-VPA. I'm not going to actually put a question on right now, but I will show you what they look like. So right now, this is showing my collaborations. I actually have none. I haven't written on one before. So when I go to BCP-VPA collaborations, you'll see that very top one, I think, was from Kevin Reimer. There he is, about vulnerable learners. So if we come in here, we can also see that a bunch of people have looked at it already. He's tagged it under general, about vulnerable learners. And then there's his question: as we address continuity of learning across the province, how are you attempting to meet the needs of your vulnerable learners? And, oh, sadly for Kevin, nobody has actually responded to this. There are no posts in the response. There are no responses. So let's see if we can find one that's got some responses on it so you can see what that looks like. So this is going to be published to everyone. So this is, okay, here's one. This one's got 6 responses. So we're going to go to delivery model. Rhonda Fitzpatrick from the BCP-VPA has posted this as well about delivery model for, of course, we're all talking right now about continuity of learning and remote learning. So here are the responses from folks here about what's been happening and what they've sent out to people, what the focuses are. And some people are sharing a whole bunch of, this is awesome, a list of resources that they've come across. Oh, I like how Sean calls this a wee list of resources. And it's about 12 pages long. Everything you ever needed to know. There it is. And then you can post your response as well. And that is the collaborate feature. So again, that was here under collaborate, or it was under dashboard, network, collaborate. So that's the kind of chat room feature. Put out a question. Anybody who's a BCP-VPA member can see that question and is going to respond, right? Whereas BackBEats was that thing where you're creating a room and you decide who's in that room. So you send that link out just to the people that you are inviting to that room, which is different than collaborating across the platform with everyone in our membership. And then there's chats. So this is having a discussion with specific members, specific people. You can access that through where we just did. So dashboard, and then collaborate, network, and then chat room, or you can access it right here. This is your chat up here next to your area with the 2 little speech bubbles. You can see I've got 4 different chats happening here. We'll just have a look at Sean's. You can add an image now, which is awesome. This is me being thankful to Sean for creating that, because I had wanted to send screenshots to someone and wasn't able to do it through here, which you now can. So Sean and I, this is direct message to a specific person or to specific people, okay? You can search for an educator you want to chat with and then send them a chat, or you can start a group chat if you want to invite a bunch of, like more than one person to it. Give it a name. Let's call it, I'm going to call it Celia Staff. We always like to have a group chat. And for some reason, it's not letting me do that. Well, I will have a chat with Sean about the group chat feature and how it wouldn't let me do that. I don't know what that's about. Hopefully it'll work for you. Sorry about that. Okay, so we are at that's the 4 areas of networking. So we can find and follow educators. We can create a room to ask specific questions or look for specific feedback or sharing amongst a group that we invite, that we send the link to. We can put out a question to the membership for discussion and ideas, and we can directly chat with someone. So that is all of the network features. Ooh, private member groups. Forgot to show you that. I have only just learned about this and I was very excited. This is up here. So this is not under the network button. This is under your area. And if you come to here, then you'll see member groups right here. And we want to go to, I am a part of the, I didn't know that. Oh, I was invited. I didn't accept my invitation. I should probably do that. And then you're going to create a member group. So let's say I'm going to create the CLES staff. I can put notes in there if I want. I save and next, and then I can select group members. So now I'm going to be looking for Sean Lockhart, since he's in our staff. I find actually the search feature sometimes is faster if you don't use as many letters. Sean Lockhart, I'm going to look for Tony Hoffman. I'm going to add Sheena Sutherland. I'm just going to stop there. In fact, I might just add Sean so I don't really confuse everybody else on my staff. Okay, so I've added Sean. He's been invited, and then he'll get an invitation telling him that he's going to be a part, that he can be part of my group. Okay, and then we're going to go to group privacy. We're a private group, so no one can find us or join us. We're very exclusive at Christina Lake. Who can share resources with the group? Any of us. So now when I share my resources, I have a choice to just send it to the CLES staff, so only they can see it. Only they're the only ones it publishes to, not to the entire group, to all of BC PVPA. So that would be really helpful if you're working with your staff or maybe an admin group that's specific to your area. Okay, so that's member groups, and that was up here, member groups. You could create all kinds of different member groups. Now we're going to look at the actual resources, this is the original feature of BetterEducate that I started looking at, which I don't use as much anymore, but when I first started using this, it was kind of the only reason I was here. So, sorry, Sean. When we go to resources, there are all kinds of things we can do. So we can look for resources that people have already published here on BetterEducate. So let's just do that first. So right now, we are looking at, didn't mean to click back. We're going to go see all resources. So now we're just looking at everything. And I think it's just based on what was the most recently published. This is also what I see if I click on resources over here on the side panel. So the last thing that was published by my colleague Ryan McGregor, and it's a fairy tale portal, which is actually very cool if you want to have a look at it. And then I can just scroll through. I can also search, again, based on tags. So let's say I am looking for resources that have been tagged with organizational leadership. Then I can click on there. I'm automatically going to find a whole bunch of resources that have been tagged about organizational leadership, networking mindset, BetterEducate. I'm going to find information about Scott McDonald, who's talking about organizational leadership. So I've got a bunch of names now. Within these resources, I'm going to find all kinds of different things. So let's have a look at this one. This one is based on Standard 9 Action Statement 6, which says understand and ensure appropriate processes are followed for staff evaluation. There are some files here. There's a presentation by Ellen Roberts. There's a section from, I think this is from the Leadership Planning Guide. Okay, sometimes there will also be videos in a resource. Let's choose something, let's choose not organizational leadership. Let's choose something like, I don't know, collaboration. See if we can find something that's got a video in it. Oh, look at that. BetterEducate webinar for teachers. So that one's been tagged with collaboration. So if we come to this one, you'll see there's a description at the top again, and then this one has video in it, and you can play it right there and have a look at it. So some resources have video, and some have documents you can open. Standard 8, Action Statement 3. This one's got a link to Safer Schools, school liaison officers, all kinds of stuff. So there are just tons and tons of different resources. These ones we've been looking at seem so far to be coming up with lots of things about the leadership standards, but you might also find, fairy tale resource, or webinar series, collaborative adaptive leadership. So tons of different things there under your resources. So to get back there, to the main page, I just click Better Resources, and then I can just go to General. That'll give me a ton of things to look at as well. Math challenge. If you're interested in a math challenge, this one's got a file on it. Okay, and then there's your lollipop math puzzle to do. So again, that was under our dashboard, resources, and that's just explore. That's just browsing resources, which is the same as over here under resources. You can also create resources to share with other people by clicking here on create, or by clicking on this green pen up here. That's create a resource. So this is my editor screen. These are all of my resources. I've got some files and links, and then I have a lot of resources. These ones that are shaded pink are resources that have not been published to BetterEducate. And this is how we're actually running our school right now. So our virtual school is in here, my grade 6-7 page is here. But those resources I edit, but I don't publish them. So we'll have a look instead at a published resource, such as this one, which is creating a virtual classroom with Google Slides. So when I first went to add my resource, it brings me to this page. And I'll show you. Actually, you know what? Let's do one. Let's do a new one. So back on this resources, I'm going to click on add resource. So that was going to the green pen at the top. Add resource. It brings me to this. There are 5 steps. You don't have to do them in order. So don't feel like you have to go in order once you've got your content in. So first we're going to give it a heading. We're going to call this example resource A. Then we're going to talk about the level that it applies to, if it's a teaching resource. If it's not specific, we're just going to use general. And then we're going to give it some tags. So we're going to call this curriculum. We're going to call it BCPVPA, and we're going to call it classroom setup. That's my favorite tag right now because everything I post is about setting up your BetterEducate classroom. Then you can choose whose name it's going to be posted under. Is it posted as BCPVPA? I usually post as myself. Under more details, that's where you can write your description. So here is my first resource. Please enjoy. Okay, and I like to put the description at the top. You don't have to. That's not where it shows up if you don't click that button. So make sure you click that button. We're going to do save and next. And then we can upload a video. So if you have a YouTube video you want to paste, you just paste it in there. If you have a photo you want to put, you upload it there. If you have a link to put in, remember a YouTube link goes under video. Sometimes people will try to put their YouTube link under links and files. This is other links, so links to a different web page, links to your BackBEat you could put in here if you're trying to have a BackBEat about your resource. And then any files that you want to upload, you can choose from here. It just takes you straight to your computer. Choose what you want to upload. You have to give it a title, a label, then you do save and next. And the final step is to publish. And we're going to click publish it to everyone on BetterEducate, publish it now, or we could click publish to a group. So maybe we're not going to publish it to anybody. Oh, sorry. I can also change when I want to publish it. So maybe I want to publish it on the 20th. And I could publish it just to, remember when I created that group called CLES staff? And those are the only people that will see it. Or you might not see all these options because you probably are not in as many of the groups as I am at this point. But you can publish it to all of the BCPVPA or to your own small group that you've created. So I am not going to publish that resource, but I will show you one that has got stuff in it. I'm trying to think what has, in fact, let's actually just look at this one because it has lots of things in it for us to look at. And you can edit your resources anytime. You just come in, click on them like that. And if you want to add more stuff to a resource that's already published, you don't have to republish it. You can just put more things on it and people who are using it can come back to it. So you can see these are all videos that we've uploaded here by pasting in their links. We've got our one little photo. And then under links and files, we have a million links. here to all kinds of different resources that kids need to access. We've got a bunch of files added. And then if you look at publish, we actually have not published this page. Then there's this handy share button, which you can share your resource out to just with a link, which is what we've done. So we didn't have to publish it because we shared the link, which means people who aren't on BetterEducate can see it. So you might want to do that with your resource. You can also preview your resource at any point, and you can invite other people to edit with you. So I shared this resource with Ryan McGregor, who's my colleague, and we share a class of grade 6-7s. So he's been added to edit on here. So on our page, we're both editors. He comes in and adds his own stuff. I don't have to do that, which is really great. So that's how you share a resource. So that was exploring. We've browsed resources. We've created our own resource. And now we're going to learn about bundling resources. So this is if you want to put a bunch of items together to create a bundle of resources that you've seen. So you can see under the Christina Lake Growth Plan, I created this bundle, which has got breathing, computational thinking rollout, and then some Shelley Moore stuff that I wanted for some reason in a bundle. I don't know why. If I want to edit it, I click here and I can add more stuff to it. I started a bundle here that I didn't actually finish about ethical leadership. So you might want to do something like that. So I've got a whole bunch of resources under here that pertain to ethical leadership, and I can just find them faster than when I go to my resources and I've got all 87 resources or whatever I have there. So create a bundle. You're going to give it a title, example bundle. You can explain it if you want. This bundle's for you, right? So you don't have to put in more information than you want. Then we're going to add items to our bundle by browsing through the different resources, and then we can also share our bundle with a group if we want. Okay, with our Christina Lake group. We can make it so that other people can add to the bundle if we want that group to be able to. Okay, and that's with the groups that or we can just send them the link. Okay, so to bundle items, we go to our resources, and let's say I want to bundle this math challenge. Okay, you can see right here it says bundle. Okay, and then I'm going to stick it in example bundle. Perfect. Now I can go back to my example bundle. There's my math challenge. Okay, I can edit. And when I edit, I can delete that if I want to get rid of it out of my bundle. And then I can go back to adding more things to my bundle. So that's how we bundle resources if you want to create kind of like a file folder for your resources. Okay, and the final area in resources is to connect and share resources with specific members of the community. So again, that is, you're going to be bundling and sharing with people, or you can share when you publish, you choose a specific group of people that you're sharing to, rather than sharing straight out. Oh, look, I'm not in the BCPVPA area anymore. How did I get out of that? I wonder. There we go. Okay, so I don't want to look in my example bundle anymore. Okay, so that was how we do those. Let's double check our outline here. We've got browse, create your own, co-create with others. That's where, if you're co-creating a resource, that's where you use that invite button in the resource once you've created it, so you can invite other people. And then we'll have a really quick look at our plans area. So this is for school plans, and this is for your portfolio, self-assessments, growth plan, inventory. So this whole area here, we already looked at the self-assessment, right? And then we're going to have a look at your portfolio, your evidence of practice for your growth plan, and your growth plan. We'll have a look at that in another video. So again, once you're logged into this wonderful website, there are a million things that you can do. And just remember, always come back to this dashboard and think, like, what is it I'm trying to do? Am I updating my profile? Do I want to do something about me, which is updating my profile or looking at my self-assessment? Am I looking to network? Do I want to find other people to follow or talk to? Do I want to create a feedback loop where people can contribute? Do I want to ask a question of other administrators that are on here? Like, what are the top 3 things you do on the first day of school in September? Or, what do you want to ask other educators in a safe space where there are lots of people who can help you out? And then do I want to chat directly to someone to ask them a specific question? We've got our resources area where we can find other people's resources, browse resources that have been shared, look for things around our growth plan or a specific area of leadership that we're curious about. We can make our own. Maybe you have a great resource or you watched a great TED Talk that you think other people would be interested in. You can share that. You can bundle those resources, and you can co-create resources as well. And then we'll have a look at this planning module when we do our next video. So the last little thing I wanted to go over, there are a couple of other things. We talked about the mobile device, and then there is a tutorial button in BetterEducate here, but it's a little old apparently, so just watch for the tutorial. Might not have all the answers to your questions, but it's certainly a starting place. And then one of the things I find really interesting and was overwhelming at the beginning when I used BetterEducate is how many different ways there are to get to the same space. But as I've been using BetterEducate, I realized that that's actually very helpful. So there's the dashboard with our 4 areas here. There's also the side dashboard here. And then there's your top section here, right, where we're looking at profile, add a resource or look at your resources. This is adding a quick link, which is basically adding a resource, but it's just one single link. Creating a bundle. These are the contributors that you're following. Here's my unread resources. Here's the chatting feature again. And then even under here, again, I can see profile, editor, bundles, my account information. There's that member groups. And then you can get to your growth plans in here as well. So, and your BackBEat. So there's a lot of stuff that's in more than one area, but it is kind of helpful because you can usually figure out how to get where you're trying to go. So that's our basic overview of getting logged in and getting started on just what are some of the features that you can use here. And I'd really encourage you to get in and have a look around, look at some resources, find some educators that you want to follow or like, and use those tags. They're really, really helpful to find people who are experienced in what you're wanting to learn about and people who are interested in the same things that you are. So that's BetterEducate in a nutshell.